Hey everybody, it's Invicta. It's time for another Eden Run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Friday, Mosh Pit. We did have another video crossing 3,000 likes, now only 7 away from the Alt Path plus All Pills week. It is within our grasp. We're on the home stretch now, 1 week to go. Thank you all very much for making it possible. Also, quick reminder that today over on Twitch, I'm celebrating my 11-year partnerversary over at twitch.tv/Invicta. We're going to be doing a lot of Isaac stuff. We're doing lots of giveaways, so come check it out. It's not going to be like a 24-hour subathon type thing, but it's going to be a long one, and it should be a lot of fun as well. So here's your artwork of the day. Awesome artwork submitted here by Basic Cap 9052. Title throw was Surrender to Blinding Light, which is one of our lyrics from the Word of Lauder. And they said in the thread, it's been a year since my last art post on this Invicta subreddit. I've grown a lot as an artist since then. Here's a little something I cooked up for old time's sake. Rock on. And this looks absolutely awesome. Unbelievable. Like I love like the drops and everything. And of course the sissy, the paradox between looking super serious and metal and hardcore, and then the little sissy up there. You probably didn't notice her. So go check out the full resolution version over on the Invicta subreddit. Thank you again, Basic Cap, and hopefully you continue doing it, man, because like I enjoy looking at them. See, oh boy, see today is going to be Sierra Tango November Yankee 38 Hotel. Oh, we got the Frozen hairstyle and Black Hole and Trisagion. So rejoice, Trisagion fans. It is your time to shine. I'm not gonna take Harlequin Baby. I used to like the Harlequin Baby, but not anymore. Or at least not right now, anyway. But Trisagion. It is an item that gives you piercing and spectral, kind of. It's supposed to be somewhat similar to the angelic equivalent of Brimstone. I don't know where people get off by saying that, but yeah, they say it's basically the holy Brimstone, and it is not one of my favorite items. And I'm gonna bomb for jumper cables right away, because this is something that I definitely want, not for Black Hole, but for sure later on, because obviously we're going to be getting rid of Black Hole eventually. And I will say that the most requested perfect scenario for the sub series that we did a couple of days ago, besides Voodoo Head, next in line was definitely Trisagion, and that's most likely what we're going to do next Wednesday. But a lot of people really enjoyed the apparently it will bounce off of there. Hey, we got all the chests anyway. We got a joke to do, y'all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the library real fast, because obviously I want to get rid of Black Hole, and never mind, it's a library that has nothing in it. All right. Okay. If the secret room is there, no, it sure isn't. Man, what do we do here? Well, first I'm going to use the two of spades to get our keys back. We have a strength card, which we could turn into a double deal, thanks to the Joker card. We'll find out. Secret room really wasn't there? I'm surprised. That would be the reason why. It's because the boss room is adjacent to it. But yeah, Trisagion. It doesn't make you deal... It's not a damage down. It makes you deal less damage. It can be good with a lot of different things, and this is where some people will start getting a little uppity, because I'll say it's not one of my favorite items. It can be good, but there are many different circumstances that have to happen in order to make it good. I don't like feeling like I'm hitting like a wiffle bat. I'd rather just my damage be my damage. With a few exceptions, obviously, like Proptosis, obviously your damage is going to go down the further away you get from Isaac, but Trisagion just straight up just makes you deal less damage, but you deal damage more often, if that makes sense. If you're still confused, then, well, welcome to Binding of Isaac. So, let's see if we can get an early preview of possibly next Wednesday. I mean, I'm not fully committed to the idea of bringing Trisagion for next week's Perfect Spotlight. Some. By the way, this was recorded. This video was recorded since the new patch, since you all saw the multiplayer video, and the new balance patch, that sort of thing. So this is fresh off the presses right here. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take the strength card in with the Joker card, so I just need to see for my own curiosity. We got to see what's in there. We can't take both. Joker. Okay, so it sucked anyway. And we can take the 2 of diamonds, use the 2 of diamonds. I think, honestly, I'm going to take the strength card out of everything and just roll with that. Ace of clubs, we can get a couple extra bombs here, which would be nice. Secret room is north of this room here. Really? It's got to be here. It's the only other spot. Okay, we ain't done yet now. Hang on now. Hang on now. Come on now. Okay, we get our bomb and key back. Good. And we get a huge growth card, which doesn't actually give us any HP. It doesn't allow us to deal a lot of damage, so. But yeah. Trisagion, I mean, hey, it's another opportunity for you to prove your worth. Let's see how it goes in a wild scenario here. An unbiased review. And I'll talk about some of the series names that people are coming up with. Some of them are pretty good. Going to last week's question of the episode here, coming in from Laundry Matt. Great name, by the way. Who said, on the Absolute Disaster run on last Friday, Laundry Matt said, I was watching a video and you were talking about how people were realizing some items are bad. What's your opinion on eye drops? Got in a run and realized I hated the inconsistency of the tiers for controlling damage. So this is kind of the theme that we've been doing with the launch of the Perfect Scenario sub-series, or whatever I end up calling it, which I'll get into the name suggestions in a second. But eye drops, for example, is an item that I have flipped on since first seeing it. Now that I know that eye drops does break the tiers cap, it makes it much stronger than initially figured. The inconsistencies with the tier firing, they can be dangerous, especially if you're used to seeing, like, you're seeing how Trisagion's firing right now. You're used to it. You're used to your tiers coming out at a fixed rate, right? Like, you always know exactly when the tier is going to hit the enemy, so you can push them back, and there's really no problem at all. Well, eye drops was pretty much blacklisted for a little while there by me because I didn't like doing that. I didn't like having my tiers fire whenever they felt like it. I want my tiers to fire when I feel like it. But what I will say is that I have come around, and I don't mind picking up eye drops. It's funny that we just got eye drops too before this question. I didn't honestly realize that. But you know, the fact that eye drops can break the tiers cap, and it is a massive tiers up too, is in my opinion worth it. It's worth the hassle of having to do. It's worth the hassle of dealing with inconsistent tiers. Just gonna let Black Hole kind of do its thing here. We essentially, oh man, this would have been a good room for it too. All we did was essentially just use the Book of Revelations with a 4-room cooldown in that last room. Luck upgrade there too, man. We only have 1 bomb though. Okay, I was able to get this one. Try this one here. Okay, thank you, golden chests. We got our bomb back. We get Daddy again. I definitely want to go into the shop here really fast. But, you know, there's you're by you, I mean me. My opinions are going to ebb and flow just kind of with, like, you know, what do we see here? You know, what is the particular situation that we're in, right? Somebody in Twitch chat the other day brought up, they're like, they basically asked, like, why do I not like rubber cement, for example? And I said, well, you know, we need some examples of that, because there are times that I wouldn't take rubber cement. The biggest culprit is whether or not I have Ipecac, and unfortunately the person couldn't come up with a reasoning, so they couldn't remember what episode it was that I apparently have not taken rubber cement in a while. But They also weren't subbed to me, so. I only say that as relevant because this person, if they were subbed to me, they would have seen that we had taken rubber cement plenty. And I think that, speaking on the topic of rubber cement in particular, I think that rubber cement is pretty much an automatic take, minus Ipecac or Dr. Fetus or something like that. I don't believe that... The heck? I don't believe that rubber cement is bad in most scenarios, but it can be bad. And that's the same thing, you know, that's the same thing with any item that I don't particularly enjoy or I don't think is all that great. Another one that came up was, for example, My Reflection. My Reflection is a great example of an item that I absolutely hated and was like, yeah, this is a never take item. But in Repentance Plus, and really towards the tail end of Repentance too, I would say, is when I started to really kind of appreciate My Reflection and the damage up that it does. Because the damage up that My Reflection gives you, again, we're just talking about this. We're just talking about My Reflection. The damage up that My Reflection gives you is incredible. And on top of that, it's the whole boomerang effect is pretty much inconsequential with your shot speed and your range. Usually the boomerang effect never even shows up anymore because you're firing stuff off. You're either hitting a target with your tiers, or they're firing so far off the screen that by the time they come back, you're usually pretty much done with the room. So to me, My Reflection is just one of those. It's one of those items that I was like, yeah, I used to hate this item, and now I take it almost every chance I get. Minus, again, a couple of reasons that I wouldn't want to take it. Tech 1, for example, is a situation that I would not want to take My Reflection. Tech 2, Brimstone. There are certain cases that you have that will be made against pretty much every single item. I mean, hell, if you really want to start bringing up logical extremes, I've not taken Brimstone before because it didn't make sense. And by some of the logic, people were like, "Oh, Invictus says Brimstone is bad." No, no. There are certain reasons why I would not take pretty much any single item. I can't think. I mean, there are a few items with exception that are just automatic. You take them no matter what. Holy Mantle was one of them, right? Like I would never. I could never think of a scenario where Holy Mantle would be bad for a run. It's always going to be good. We call those evergreen items. Money Equals Power, another one. Fantastic item, always going to be great. PhD is always another one. You know, there are certain items there that it's always going to be a net positive. But for a great majority of Isaac, there are items that have downsides. Even Brimstone, even Sacred Heart. You might be saying like, "Oh, come on now you're just reaching." Blah, 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 blah. No, Sacred Heart has a downside. You want to know what the downside is? If you have Libra. Sacred Heart is banned if you have Libra. It is an exclusively all stats down with Libra. So even items like Sacred Heart, there are certain situations, albeit they're very rare, but there are certain scenarios where you would not want to take Sacred Heart. And again, I only bring up this point because I want to make sure that people understand that you're totally allowed to flip on ideas. As far as what items are great, what items aren't, you know, it's going to come with experience as well. The more that you play Isaac, and I think that's part of the fun is really kind of rediscovering items that have always been in the game. You know, like recently the biggest turnaround we had was options. Now I think options are an automatic pickup, and I used to really dislike that item a whole lot because I thought that was just like, yeah, it's just going to make me not take something. Like I'm going to forget that I take something. And I don't want that to happen. I believe that was Candy Heart. Yep. As soon as I moved that way, I knew that we were going to get hit by something. This is one of my least favorite runs or floors in the entire game. Rooms in the entire game. Wow. Fortune Cookie going ham here. We've gotten like 2 or 3 soul hearts And a tarot card so far out of Fortune Cookie. I don't know how we didn't get it there or there. I'm pretty sure that we clipped through that Ipecac Gaper as we crossed downward right there. Those crazy wacky Isaac hitboxes, man. They're more of guidelines than rules, really. But that's what, you know, with the sub series, that's what I wanted to kind of like put items in pretty much one of the best scenarios that you could possibly put them in, to say, okay, let's see what this item does when it can truly shine. There's no limiters. Now, people were bringing up on Wednesday, they were saying, well, you should have given yourself flat file. I thought about flat file, but I wanted to put it in more of a real, quote, real scenario instead of like the ultimate, like this is just win-win, because the whole point is not of Voodoo Head in particular, was I wanted to put it in a real scenario, but not like a godlike scenario where, yes, if you have flat file, then of course you want Voodoo Head, right? Let's assume that we're on an Eden run. We started with Voodoo Head. We started with the D6, but we don't start with flat file. And let's just see what happens. Now, if flat file had dropped, I would have definitely taken it. But I think that you know, Wednesday's run was a very good showing for Voodoo Head. But the main crux of my criticism against Voodoo Head is the loss of the special spawn room. You just lose that flat out. And then you throw on the cost of HP whenever you go in and out of the rooms. I mean, that just compounds for me, more reasons to not take it, especially when it costs money too, when I could rather use that 15 cents for something else. Now I did see, I thought it was Candy Heart. It was Isaac's Heart. Birthright gives us, I mean, it's 2 or 3 guppy, even though we have absolutely no keys, so we're gonna have to buy this here. Now, I did see one hilarious comment on Wednesday's video where someone said that they were saying, well, you could just not go in the curse rooms. It's like, okay, so I think we can all agree that the whole point of Voodoo Head is to go into curse rooms, right? I don't think saying that, well, you could just simply not go into curse rooms is a solid defense for an item you're trying to defend. It's like, or if that's an option, well, how about I just ignore the item and then just go on my merry way? I couldn't tell if they were trolling, though. I assume that some people were trolling, unfairly so, but I'll still, you know, it's the internet. What do you want? It's a nice placement here by Hollow Ground here. As you see, we're getting some free taps. And we got IV Bag, which I'm not going to take. Maybe we'll get an HP upgrade and hopefully maybe get a double deal. I think we can splurge a little bit. Actually, well, no, we're not going to make boss rush. Our damage is too bad. Our tears are okay, but we have Trisagion, so yeah, if my greatest option to not take something, if that's a valid defense for an item, that item's probably, you're not making a good case for it. I get what they were trying to say. They're saying like, well, you know, you don't have to go into the curse rooms if you're worrying about HP. But at that point, it's like, okay, well, how about I just don't take the item then? And then guess what? I don't have to worry about my HP missing. You see what I'm saying? So there's always going to be that kind of discourse back and forth with Isaac debates and everything. I'll save this bomb. I did want to try to get this HP payout here from the Judgment if I could. I'm not going to stick with the IV bag. Oh, you soiled it. You had your chance. And honestly, Fortune Cookie's been kicking butt. I'm down with Fortune Cookie on this run. The road to redemption is here. You get a double deal and an HP upgrade. So that's the new Apollyon's best friend, which I am going to take over Hollow Heart. man, it would have been so nice to have gotten Lump of Coal for Trisagion. Let's get this. Let's get the last squeeze last little bit of money out of here. The sticky nickel. I use my last bomb just to get 5 cents here. It's definitely worth it though. And Fortune Cookie has been doing a good job. So, Napoleon's best friend gain 1 locust. Grants 1 abyssal locust. So, yeah, we'll take it. So it's D-Bizzle, the other D-Bizzle inside of inside the item room. Probably gonna skip it unless we have like just a bunch of keys. Remember, we have Guppy's tail, so keys are going to be pretty. They're going to be pretty sought after. You see here, Napoleon's best friend did trigger properly inside of the challenge room, which is nice. One thing that needs to stop happening is us taking damage like that right there. But going to the sub-series name now, a couple people have posted some pretty good ones. The ones that stood out to me were somebody said blank item sucks, change my mind. I don't think that I'm going to go with that, even though I do love the concept of that title. I still think that it's I don't think the YouTube algorithm would like that. So that's one thing I have to keep in mind whenever we're coming up with, like, you know, we're coming up with new series ideas, or sub-series in this case. But I do like that idea, and we might have some kind of derivative of that, but we'll see. And then the other one was like someone said someone was like do or don't or something like that, like poo or do or something silly like that. I do like the idea of having some kind of rhyming scheme in there too, or maybe alliteration or something clever. That's probably more along the lines of what I'll end up going with. The perfect scenario was literally just me firing off the cuff like ideas, and that's the one that I stuck with because I couldn't think of anything better at the time. No, I want the sun card. And we get a greed fight. Get the small capacitor, or old capacitor. Lots of money here, but unfortunately, we're not getting. We ain't getting nothing to spend it on. This is definitely where the super secret room is here. Again, another kind of easy spot. Flat wall to the right, nothing else is going to be adjacent to it. Haven't found the super secret room yet. Close to the boss, easy peasy. Green bloat. There's another one. Someone said like Isaac Testing Lab or something like that. I think that I like the concept of the name, but I think it's a little bit. We're not spawning stuff in throughout the entire video. It's just we're trying to give the perfect setup for items to make them seem better than they are, or just give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, this is the best case scenario. But there's still going to be limits though. Like it was an executive call for me to not put flat file in Wednesday's video. I felt that was a little bit too generous, because then all it would show is like, yeah, see, if you have flat file, then hey, it completely invalidates your the one of the two major problems that I have with Voodoo Head. Where's Sun card go? I'm going to use the Sun card on the next floor so we can plan out our trip to Mom here. Okay, so Bloodshot Eye is an absolute no-go. I am going to go in the Curse Room. Single chest. We get Guppy! Wow, we got a Devil Dealer's Guppy transformation. Now that is some pog right there. That's some poggers, as the kids say. Have we... by the way, have we gotten to the age now? Has enough time has gone by to where Twitch has kind of injected itself into the popular culture that Cap and Pog and KEKW and all that stuff is that starting to get turned into like boomer memes? Like if you say Pog, you're now considered a boomer, a new boomer. Oh my gosh, dude, we're getting super charged up with this fortune cookie. It's like a super cookie here. On top of all that, now that we have the 9-volt, we literally can use the fortune cookie every single room, and that is amazing. And thanks to the battery, we also don't have to worry about wasting that extra charge there. What I was going to do, I was just lost in train of thought. What I was going to do and should have done, because it would have been perfect, was, okay, I'm going to tell myself, hey, don't go in the item room, and let's see how fast I forget that I told myself, we already know what's in there, don't do it. Don't waste a key. We don't have keys to waste. And then I just did it anyway. That is the essence of being me. Sometimes I worry about my brain. Sometimes I'm like, man, am I just getting like really, really, really old and dumb? Or is my brain just dying? Because I find myself just instantly forgetting stuff. And I used to never ever be like that. I also find myself, and I get weirdly mad at myself too for this, is whenever I'm holding something and I drop it or like I just fumble it. It's like, dude, did you forget how to use your hands? Like, what's going on with your cognitive functions here, buddy? And it's gotten to the point where it's noticeable. Like, I'm noticeably more clumsy now. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go Polaroid. We're getting if we look at our stats right now, we've gotten Jesus Juice, which is probably the best damage up that we've gotten. Small Rock, and that's it for damage. Squeezy. Yep, that's it for tears. Well, no, eye drops as well, and then Speedball. So. In total, in this entire run, we've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stat ups, which I guess isn't bad since we're about to go to floor 7. But oof. And what I will say is that Trisagion plus Guppy is very, very nice. You have multiple hits, which cause multiple flies to spawn, courtesy of the Guppy transformation. Oh my god, I didn't even recognize that was a gurgling. It just looked like some weird shark mob for a second there. No, these keys are precious. That was an invisible champion eye laser. Screw that, dude. Mom's Pearl. It would be good, but we already have like a whole swath of HP available to us courtesy of Fortune Cookie, and being able to use it after every single room is so nice. Yeah, oh man, just non-stop HP here. Okay, well, we got it back. Nice range upgrade and luck upgrade. We might as well, I guess. Sorry, Apollyon. Might as well just go full bore and just say, hey, we literally will not ever run out of HP here. Somebody on the patch notes video said they may as well have just called this expansion the Apollyon expansion. And I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, there's been a lot of changes to Tainted Apollyon and Abyss in particular, but I think that it's one of those things where the devs are actively trying to see like an item that they could really vastly improve. And Abyss was the first item that they saw that was like, okay, we can actually do some pretty insane-o Isaac level stuff to this item. This item can be way more than it currently was at the time. I think that we can all agree that the original iteration of Abyss was just not great. yes, if you got that critical mass that we love to talk about whenever you got it, it was good, right? But it usually wasn't like, hey, I'm going to sacrifice a whole bunch of items good. Now with the new Abyss though, and if you haven't seen the new Abyss effects, go check out the multiplayer co-op run that we did on Wednesday. I published it on Wednesday morning. It was within, I made the patch notes video 12 minutes after the patch went live on Steam, and I did the full co-op run with Zombolis. That was about an hour and a half after the patch went live. So I was trying to be on it like Johnny on the spot. Go watch that, because not only do we showcase all the new Abyss locusts, and there's still some that we didn't get into there. There's actually a lot that we didn't get into. But on top of that, we also get to play with two players who have never, they had just patched. They didn't know anything about what changed for the input lag delay and that sort of stuff. So it was really good to get PB and Light Cloud's perspective on the new input delay. And Paradoxes Black traditionally has a very, very poor connection to my connection, and it was buttery smooth for him. So really good stuff that the team are doing. And I think that Abyss is just, it was an item that was really exciting to work on, with the sort of prospect, the prospect of making the item so much greater that I think Zombolis really just wanted to dive in and totally redo the entire item. So I know that we're going to see more non-Abyss changes in the Repentance Plus era, and I'm all for it. And I'm really excited about it. First of the brine. Well, we definitely don't need any more Red Heart HP, that's for sure. Get a moon card. I'm not going to go in the vault. The moon. Really? Okay, that's weird. Ah, that's why. No, I'm good. There's literally no reason for me to be in there. I'm not going to go in the curse room. We already have Guppy. And now you can say, well, there could be a devil deal in there. There could be a damage up in there. And then I say, yes, that's true, but there probably won't be. And I'm not going to spend one soul heart to find out. This is another one of those very not fun rooms here. I would totally go for the mega chest if we had more keys, but Guppy's tail really does hurt you in that respect. Okay, we got our soul heart back. We can protect our bone heart, and it's gone. Ooh, Bloody Crown. Well, unfortunately, Bloody Crown, we're already along the way here. We've moved out to pasture. There we go. Okay, got our soul heart back. You know, with very little damage here, with very little damage, you're seeing just how much damage Trisagion can do, especially with the Guppy transformation. And this is kind of the reason why I was thinking about not putting Trisagion in the perfect scenario sub-series, whatever we end up calling it. Is because, you know, there are times, like, legitimately Trisagion is not as terrible of an item that I exaggerate it to be, right? I do a lot of that. A lot of that is for the showmanship and just for the hilarity of it all, just because it really riles people up sometimes. But Trisagion is not a god awful F tier item. It's fun to act like it is, but it's not. And I don't know what I would be able to do in the sub-series to make it a perfect scenario without giving Trisagion like 30 other different items and just blast through the game, because that wouldn't be natural of the game to give you all those items at once, right? You'd have to do like an entire run and then maybe another run, victory lap, another run, and to get like some pretty incredible, unique synergies. So it's hard for me to have a good setup for Trisagion in the sub-series, just because like what would I do? Like I would give myself Trisagion, and then we would want like a good amount of tiers, and then what? Do I give myself Sacred Heart? Do I give myself, Cricket's Body? I mean, where's the line get crossed there? It's like, okay, so I'm gonna give myself Sacred Heart and Trisagion at the start of run, and let's see what happens. Like, no, the run's already over. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's a little bit of a window into the inside of what kind of takes place whenever you have to consider these sort of things for a series. Because if I start giving myself just broken runs at floor 0 at the start of the run, it's like, okay, well, yeah. I mean, any item. What's defined as the perfect scenario? Like giving myself Voodoo Head, but also giving myself Flat File. It's where's it stop? Any item is going to be broken if you give yourself Sacred Heart, Brimstone, Mom's Knife, whatever. I want it to be somewhat realistic as far as the simulation is concerned. But it's a fun idea. I don't want that series to be taken way too seriously. I want to just show off items that I typically do not like, and really give them a chance to truly shine without making it overpowered and broken. One of the memes that we've had for a while now in the mosh pit was somebody was trying to convince me that Trisagion is actually a good item. You just need this and 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 this. I'm like, that's how many items you need for the item to be considered good at this point? If you're saying, well, Isaac's Heart's good, but it also needs this and this and this and this, you have like 8 extra items that you need to throw in there in order for it to be good, then we got a problem. Because then, in my opinion, that makes the item less good if you need to compensate for the item's weaknesses or whatever with more items. That makes sense? So again, I don't want the sub-series to be taken too seriously. It's supposed to be made for fun. It's going to be neat to be able to showcase some items that I really just truly despise. And maybe, I mean, the whole goal of the series would be to change my mind about items, about certain items that I just absolutely hate. I loathe. I didn't even know that we were... It's hard. You can't even see the kidney stone proccing. Just use a death card here. There we go. We got 1 full soul heart. We're going to pop another couple of Sumptoriums. That'd be it. We got a wall of tech now. So, ended up being a pretty good run here, mostly thanks to Guppy. We got a double deal as Guppy, which is very hard to do and very lucky to get to. And, Trisagion did well. Despite minimal damage upgrades, minimal tier upgrades, and no other accompanying tier effects until Tech X, which overrides it, of course. Absolutely incredible job done that we got that Guppy transformation without a double deal. So thank you for watching, everybody. Have a happy Friday. Remember, come check out the live stream over at twitch.tv/Invicta for my 11-year partnerversary over there on Twitch. And happy Valentine's Day. I hope you all are spending it with loved ones. If you're single, then, well, you know what? Hey, keep the faith. It's going to be all right. You can always spend time with me over on Twitch here on YouTube. Check it out, twitch.tv/Invicta. And for those of you who are interested in wondering where the Pokemon breaks are going to be, on Friday, we're moving them to tomorrow because Mark cannot make it tonight. And it just works out well with my partnerversary. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like, thanks to patrons of mine like Sylvia5956, Newborn God, and Crypto14. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find at patreon.com/Invicta.